The President of the United States is the single most powerful person on the planet. But as Uncle Ben famously once told Spider-Man,
"With great power comes great responsibility."
in this high-stakes game, being the US President is like tightrope walking over a volcano. The presence of enemies lurks around every corner, making the presidency not just a position of power, but perhaps the most dangerous job in the world. A few cosmic rotations ago, Forbes, in its trademark hyperbolic flair, unleashed an article with the electrifying headline, "America's Deadliest Jobs." Armed with statistics from the Bureau of Labor, it painted a vivid mural of occupational danger. But one profession was conspicuously absent from this macabre job fair: the role of the US President. As of 2024, 45 individuals have had their moments in the Oval Office spotlight. Of these, a foreboding 8 have left this earthly realm while trying to navigate the bureaucratic labyrinth, a mortality rate that, if applied to a less prestigious profession, might result in a run on LinkedIn profile updates. To put it simply, picking a president at random offers an 18.6% chance that they will exit the White House in a manner other than through the front door. But let's not skim the surface, let's dive into the intriguing conundrum. How many of those 8 dearly departed commanders-in-chief met their end due to the particular hazards of presidential life? 4 of them, it turns out, faced the business end of an assassin's creativity. It seems that in the US, getting into office is like stepping onto a stage with a target painted on your back. First up, we have the assassination of Abraham Lincoln, who got a rude introduction to the term Confederate sympathizer courtesy of John Wilkes Booth. Talk about an unfortunate case of theater critics gone wild. James Garfield found himself in the crosshairs thanks to Charles Guiteau, a man with the diplomatic finesse of a disgruntled cat demanding an ambassadorship to Vienna. When Washington declined his generous offer, he figured Garfield was the problem, as any logical person would, and decided a bullet was the answer. Diplomacy at its finest. Then we have William McKinley, who fell victim to Leon Czolgosz, an anarchist in an era when being shot by anarchists was the cool thing to do. Talk about fashionably dangerous. Now, John F. Kennedy. Oh boy, let's tiptoe around that one. Officially, he was shot by Lee Harvey Oswald. But the truth isn't always that simple now, is it? This assassination is a mystery novel with way too many plot twists and no final chapters. On that note, let's not forget the unsung heroes of failed assassination attempts. Andrew Jackson was a trendsetter, surviving Richard Lawrence's attempts with the resilience of a cat dodging a laser pointer. John Schrank had a Milwaukee-sized vendetta against Teddy Roosevelt, giving him a chest-piercing reminder of the hazards of politics. Ronald Reagan had John Hinckley Jr. to try to turn him into a lead pincushion outside the Washington Hilton. Seriously. What's with people aiming for the presidents like they're playing political darts? Then there's the Hall of Shame for the F-grade attempts. Those who couldn't even hurt a fly, let alone a president. Taft, Hoover, Truman, Nixon, Ford, Carter, both senior and junior Bush, Clinton, and even Obama and Trump had their moments with assassination attempts so bad they barely made the headlines. It's like a bizarre game of presidential whack-a-mole, where everyone wants a swing but can't quite land the hit. When it comes to making lemonade out of political lemons, the United States government has mastered the art, turning assassination attempts into the catalyst for the most elaborate security protocols known to humankind. Now, let's take a stroll through the intricacies of a presidential visit outside the White House, where the security measures make Fort Knox look like a casual stroll in the park. Secret Service agents and White House staff embark on a reconnaissance mission up to 3 months in advance, establishing contact with local agencies at the president's destination. First on the to-do list is clearing the airspace at the airport upon the president's arrival, because nothing says "welcome to town" like a secure sky. The request for a motorcade route through town follows, a careful orchestration of traffic that rivals a synchronized swimming routine. Identifying trauma hospitals and securing safe locations in the event of an attack? Just another day in the life of presidential travel planning. Agents join forces with local police to play the real-life version of Spot the Threat. Class 3 threats, the VIPs of the threat world, get special attention. These are the folks who not only have a history of threatening the president, but also possess the skill set to back up their claims. The agents give them the heads up, you're on our radar, literally. As the president's arrival date approaches, bomb-sniffing dogs become the unsung heroes, checking every nook and cranny along the route. Streets are cleared of parked cars faster than you can say President Biden, ensuring that no one can sneakily plant a car bomb near the president's hotel. When the president hits the road, it's a logistical showdown for the ages. At least 6 planes swoop in, carrying the presidential entourage. Some play cargo Tetris, housing helicopters, limousines, and top-notch communication gear, while others are essentially airborne buses transporting a legion of agents and staff. And oh, the president's culinary adventures. It's not your average drive-through situation. Forget roadside diners, the president brings his own food, complete with a crew of cooks and servers who set up a culinary stronghold wherever they land. It's a kitchen takeover, closely monitored by Secret Service agents to ensure the president's plate remains untouched by any unwarranted culinary adventure. But if you thought the kitchen takeover was excessive, buckle up for the presidential state car, a fortress on wheels that puts your standard SUV to shame. This marvel, lovingly maintained by the United States Secret Service, is practically a mobile fortress. Picture this: 5-inch bulletproof glass adorning every window, run-flat tires for those unexpected detours, and an interior that's hermetically sealed, ready to withstand a chemical attack. James Bond would be green with envy at the night vision optics, tear gas cannon, onboard oxygen tanks, an armored fuel tank armed with foam to prevent fiery fiascos, and pump-action shotguns. And just for good measure, it packs rocket-propelled grenades and 8-inch doors. Now let's talk about foreign travel, where the presidential adventures reach new heights, quite literally. Forget about cramped coach seats and peanuts. The commander-in-chief prefers to soar through the skies in style. Enter the crown jewel of airborne diplomacy, Air Force One. Each president gets their very own Boeing 747-200B jumbo jet. Air Force One is a flying tank, equipped with security and defense systems that could rival a superhero's hideout. We're talking classified measures to protect onboard electronics against the electromagnetic pulse of a nuclear explosion, because, you know, world leaders are just casually discussing matters of global importance at 30,000 feet. This airborne palace can house up to 70 passengers, in addition to the 26-member crew. It's not just a floating presidential suite, it's a multitasking marvel. Security staff gets their own space, because safety is a non-negotiable priority. But that's not all. Air Force One has its own in-flight pharmacy, ready for an unexpected health hiccup. Emergency medical equipment? Check. It's not just a plane, it's basically the Pentagon on wings. In contemplating the perilous journey that accompanies the title of U.S. President, one can't help but acknowledge the evolving landscape of dangers that loom ahead. The intricate tapestry of security measures and protocols, born from past trials and attempts on the lives of those who held this highest office, paints a vivid picture of the challenges that lie on the presidential path. The future, with its ever-shifting dynamics of global threats and technological advancements, presents an array of challenges that demand perpetual vigilance and adaptation. Cybersecurity risks, geopolitical tensions, and the relentless march of time call for a continuous reassessment of protective measures. If you had the chance to equip the presidential state car with one more unexpected feature, what would it be? Let me know in the comments, and as always, thanks for watching.